Sometimes, the people we underestimate the most turn out to hold the power to change our lives forever. Imagine being mocked, humiliated, and treated as if you were invisible, only for the world to discover you're the one person they should have respected all along. Today's story will take you on a journey of arrogance, kindness, betrayal, and shocking truth. Stay with me till the very end, because the twist will leave you speechless. Chapter 1. The Spill of Disrespect. Sarah was a simple, quiet woman who had recently started visiting her husband's company more often. She wasn't there as a manager, nor did she hold an official role. She preferred blending in, walking among employees, sitting in the cafeteria, observing quietly, and learning how people treated each other when no one important was watching. She never boasted about who she was, and she never demanded special treatment. All she wanted was authenticity. But in a workplace filled with ambitious, sharp-dressed professionals, Sarah stood out, not because of her presence but because of her simplicity. She wore plain clothes, tied her hair back without care for style, and often smiled softly even when no one paid her any attention. Many thought she was a clerk, or worse, someone's assistant who didn't matter. One afternoon, the office cafeteria buzzed with noise. Sarah carried her small tray with a sandwich and tea, scanning the room for a seat. Just as she passed a group of the more elite coworkers, one of them, Melissa, the sharp-tongued, well-dressed employee who loved flaunting her superiority, looked at her with disdain. Melissa leaned to her friend and whispered loudly enough for everyone to hear, "Look at her. Doesn't even know how to dress for work. Probably can't even afford a proper meal." The group chuckled. Sarah's face turned slightly red, but she said nothing. She simply walked to an empty table, placed her tray down, and tried to enjoy her lunch quietly. Moments later, Melissa strutted across the cafeteria with a cold Coke can in her hand. She pretended to trip but instead deliberately tilted the can, splattering its sticky contents all over Sarah's simple outfit. The cold liquid drenched Sarah's blouse and tray. "Oh no, I'm so sorry," Melissa said mockingly, her lips curled into a smirk. "But hey, maybe this will help you look a little fresher." The cafeteria roared with laughter. Some watched in silence, others looked away, pretending not to notice. Sarah sat still for a moment, her sandwich soaked, her clothes clinging uncomfortably to her skin. Her eyes shimmered, but she quickly blinked away the tears. Instead of shouting, instead of demanding justice, Sarah quietly grabbed a napkin, cleaned herself as best she could, and stood up. She gave Melissa a soft, polite smile that confused everyone, and walked out of the cafeteria with her head held high. Melissa shook her head, pathetic. She doesn't even have the guts to fight back. What Melissa didn't know was that her arrogant display was about to turn her world upside down. Chapter 2. The Revelation That Changed Everything. The following week, the company held its annual meeting in the Grand Conference Hall. Every employee, from interns to executives, was present. The founder of the company, Mr. Thomas, the man known for his discipline, vision, and uncompromising values, was expected to address the employees. Melissa, dressed in her best designer suit, sat confidently near the front row. She had been eyeing a promotion and believed that her charm and confidence would secure her a position in leadership. As the room filled with anticipation, Mr. Thomas entered. Walking beside him was Sarah, still dressed simply, her gentle smile unchanged. Whispers broke out across the hall. "Why is she here? Isn't that the woman Melissa spilled Coke on? What's going on?" Melissa's eyebrows arched in confusion. Why is she walking with the founder himself? Mr. Thomas reached the podium. After greeting the employees, his voice grew serious. "Today is not just another meeting. Today, I want to reintroduce someone very important, not just to me, but to this entire company. Many of you may have seen her in the office. You may have spoken to her, or perhaps, ignored her." He paused, scanning the crowd. Sarah stood quietly by his side. "This is Sarah," he continued. "My wife. The woman who has stood by me since before this company even existed. She knows the value of respect, humility, and compassion. And she has been observing how we treat one another when we think no one important is watching." The room fell silent, gasps spread through the employees. Eyes darted toward Melissa, who now sat frozen in her chair, her confident expression melting into panic. Mr. Thomas's tone sharpened. "I believe how you treat the weakest among us shows who you truly are. Some of you treated her with kindness and respect, never knowing who she was. And some," his gaze shifted directly to Melissa, "failed that test." Melissa's face turned pale. She wanted to disappear. Sarah, however, stepped forward gently. She placed her hand on her husband's arm and spoke softly, yet firmly, into the microphone. I don't want anyone punished because of me. But I do want everyone here to remember something. You never know who you're really speaking to. You never know whose heart you're wounding. Power and money don't make a person valuable, our humanity does. Treat everyone with dignity, no matter their status. The hall erupted in applause. Employees were moved, some even teary-eyed. The message struck deep. Melissa, on the other hand, lowered her head in shame. She realized that her arrogance had not only humiliated Sarah, but exposed her own lack of character in front of the entire company. From that day forward, the office culture shifted. People were kinder, more respectful, and aware of how their words and actions affected others. And Sarah, she continued to visit, still wearing her simple clothes, still carrying her soft smile. But this time, she was no longer invisible. She was a symbol, a reminder that humility is far more powerful than pride. Glowing star inspiring message for ending narration. Respect costs nothing, yet it is priceless. The person you dismiss today may be the very one who defines your future tomorrow. Always choose kindness, because in the end, it isn't titles or wealth that reveal our true worth, it's how we treat others when we think no one is watching.